All right. Namaste and welcome back, to part 3B. You know, I just came back from a break just to give you a quick update, after the last recording. I'd been up like 23 hours. I said, you know what? Let me go to bed and get some rest so that I have energy, and you'll understand why. I get so energized around this. So I went to bed and I got up like 3 hours later. I couldn't sleep. I got up and I just said, oh, I got to get to work. And as much as I tried, head's pounding, and whatever, so, I decided let me have a cup of coffee, and go over the last video and stuff, and I'm glad I did because there are just a couple of things that I had to put into this last part for you to get the most out of it. Okay, so I have a fresh cup of coffee, half a pot of coffee in front of me. I got my half a gallon of water by my side. Took my bathroom break, fresh pack of cigarettes, clean ashtray, ready to go. Ready to go. So, um, did you go back to the beginning of the videos? Go back to all of them, before you get to this part. If you really want to really, truly, make that change, it's worth it. You've been waiting a long time. What's another fucking couple hours, rewatching the videos. There are a lot of things that'll really, really make sense to you now in this part by you going back, you know. Um, Repetition is the mother of skill. And if you don't go back now or you haven't gone back yet, after this section, I can almost guarantee you that you'll go back and watch them again. As a matter of fact, you know, um, part four, I already have it outlined for you. All I have to do is just fill in a couple of spots, and that'll be ready to record as well. Um, so far, we've been fortunate enough to have the time for me to sit down and do this because you know what, I just really want to get this done because this will be the first message. The second message, the next message that is going to make a huge difference, in how we live on this planet. The next message is going to be the seminar. All right. Anyway, uh, so hey, if you're ready to go forward, let's go. All right. It's a hell of a ride we're going to take right now. So before we get rolling, a couple of reminders. Okay. Number one, first and foremost, remember the price. Okay. Doubts, questions, opinions at the end. Question, doubt, reject, accept at the end. Number two, as I said to you before, that this roadmap, this path of and to enlightenment, and the end of all suffering, it's a combination of the many paths that have been laid out by masters and teachers and sages and gurus long before you and I were on this planet. This is how I describe it. I am telling this story my way, in my own words. Like Meister Eckhart told his story, like Leo Tolstoy told his story, like Napoleon Hill, Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer. Different flavors, crooked or straight, doesn't matter, same thing. Um, with that in mind, there are things that we are going to be talking about that people have other names for, many names for, But water is still water, and God is still God, no matter what you call him. Same church, different pews, okay? Many different names, same stuff, all right? That said, here we go. Before I use the next term, as in terminology, let me be clear about the context that we are going to be using it in. I am not going to be using it in its true clinical form. And you'll understand what I mean in a second. But I am going to be using this term more as an extremely effective analogy, like the eating a piece of shit analogy. Okay? It's just a way to tell the story for you to get it in language that I grew up with, that I understand, plain old working man, layman terms, English. Um, it's just a way to tell the story, for you to get it. And like the eating a piece of shit analogy, you'll get it. So, MPD, okay? Multiple personality disorder. As defined, this is the actual medical definition of it. It is a mental disorder characterized by at least two distinct and relatively enduring identities or dissociated personality states that alternately control a person's behavior and is accompanied by memory impairment for important information not explained by ordinary forgetfulness. In plain English, that means if you are an MPD, if you are a multiple personality disorder, you have at least two different personalities that control your behavior. They control what you do. They dictate the things you do. And you do not know that that's what you're doing. One personality does not know what the other one is doing. Okay? Me, myself, and Irene. You get it? Jim Carrey played a schizo. Funny movie, all right? Me, myself, and Irene. Picture perfect example in any way, in every way, of what we're going to be talking about. If you've seen this movie, for those of you who haven't seen this movie, Jim Carrey in the movie, he plays Charlie, Rhode Island state trooper. Hilarious. And he has an alter ego named Hank. Throughout the movie, when Hank took over, Charlie would be unconscious of what Hank was doing. Now, Charlie would wake up with his face all busted up, among other things, because Hank got into a fight the night before. Now, even though Charlie had nothing to do with it, he still suffered the consequences of everything that Hank did. Perfect example of what we're going to be talking about. We're a little more intricate here, though. Every single person on this planet that has suffering of any kind, and I'm even talking physical pain, physical suffering as well, is a multiple personality disorder. He or she is an MPD. That's what we're going to use. That's what we're going to use from now on. Now, I am no longer an MPD when it comes to the mental suffering aspect of it. Okay? And even nowadays, in some ways, even physically, I'm learning how to control how my body feels, how my body heals naturally through this, believe it or not. Little things right now, like headaches, back pain, little cuts, burns, stuff like that. There are some times that I do things on purpose just to fix it, just to practice. Practice makes perfect. But when it comes to intense physical pain, if you chop my arm off, I don't think that I'm strong enough yet, that I'm, to say that it's not going to hurt. I'm not claiming to be at that point yet. Like I said, good things take time. However, many of you at some point in your lives, have probably already heard of people doing things like that, healing themselves or not feeling any pain in what would be considered almost impossible, for them not to feel pain, you know. Um, Rocket Man, not too long ago, he fell off a scaffold and he tore a huge hole in his leg. When he landed on the ground, something took over him, and the way he explained it was that he heard this voice say everything's going to be okay, and he didn't freak out. Here you are looking at your bone. Um, and he also said that it was the most amazing thing that he absolutely felt no pain. Um, I saw a video of a kung fu master getting kicked in the nuts. It hurt to look at it, okay? He gets kicked in the nuts by one of these what do you call them? Ultimate fighter champions, okay? So these guys are built. This guy in particular was like 6'7", you know, legs like rocks, right? Um so here is this kung fu master and here is this ultimate fighting champion kicking him in the nuts full speed on purpose. And dude, I looked at that thing like 100 times in slow motion. You know, the kung fu master, he felt no pain, none. He didn't even flinch. That is the control he has over his body and especially over his mind. I'm not there yet, but sure, that's the goal. No suffering at all. I'm only 5 years old. You know, I'm still learning. Imagine, how many times we say, "Oh, if I could go back knowing then what I know now." This is your opportunity, you know, to go back, clean slate, start over. All right. Anyway, the difference between me and someone who suffers mentally is that I am aware of it. I know that I am an MPD, but the people who suffer don't know that. The person who suffers, who you think is you, is one of those personalities. And he is so good at hiding it. You don't even know that you're under his control. You're totally asleep. I'm going to prove all of this to you. All of this is going to make sense. Everything now will start making sense. There's a saying, and I am not using it in a religious sense, okay? That the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince the world that he didn't exist. Right on. Right the fuck on. Spot on. So, MPD. At least two different personalities that control our behavior, that control what we do, that dictate the things we do. And while it is happening, we don't even know it. The exact same rules apply here. Anyone who suffers is an MPD and does not just have two personalities, they have three. However, we're just going to talk about two of them for now. For now. the best way that I can explain this to you, we're gonna add some visual mass now, and you'll understand now how awesome it is to use this to explain to people. All right, take a really close look at this picture. Okay? No! All right? You know, you got Homer, burn it into your brain. Okay? Shouldn't be very hard to do that, all right? The angel, the devil, angel on the right shoulder, devil on the left. Okay? Now, we've seen this image all the time in different places, all the time on TV, all the time. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Angel, devil, all right? Now, um, just like the reference to the roller coaster, the life is a roller coaster analogy. You remember it has its ups and downs. It has its good days and bad days, etc. If you remember, I said to you that although we hear this roller coaster analogy all the time, there are certain aspects of it that are left out. Remember that? Same thing here, okay, with that analogy, the, you know, angel and the devil. All right. What we're going to do is we are going to dissect these two personalities. We're going to take a very close look at the angel and the devil. We're going to get a crystal clear picture of how they are different and how they work. I'm going to go over the characteristics of each one of them individually, one at a time. But first, Socrates said, and I might have mentioned this before, he said that nature is not one-legged on anything. Okay? And what he meant was that when it comes to nature and her laws, they apply to everything equally. When he said that in particular, he was talking about death. Okay? His argument is that everything in life has an opposite, and the opposite of death is birth. He said that being asleep comes from being awake, that being awake comes from being asleep. For there to be a slow, there has to be a fast. For there to be a fast, there has to be a slow. So, for there to be a death, there has to be a birth, and for there to be a birth, there has to be a death. Okay? Etc., etc. Really, really cool. You know, I'm going to say it again. The trial and death of Socrates. Get it, read it, memorize it. It will change your life. Albert Einstein also said that for every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. It applies, the law, nature's law, applies to absolutely everything equally. Day and night, wet and dry, rich and poor, good and bad. Everything. Just think about it. Think about it later. For now, boom, the absolute truth. And you won't prove me wrong on that one. So that, hold on one second. Yeah, baby, couple of bones. Go. Good boy. So Albert Einstein said, for every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. It applies to everything. Okay? So that is the law of nature. There is an equal opposite to everything. Okay? The same laws apply here. We're going to talk about the guy on the right first. Okay? The guy on the right shoulder. Now, when I ask most people, who that is, they say, that's an angel, you know. But then when I ask them who this guy is, they know, they know. They say it flat out. That's the devil. All right. I ask them, are you sure? And they say, absolutely, absolutely positive. And I agree, you know. But the opposite of the devil is not an angel. We have to call a spade, equal opposite. The opposite of the devil is God. All right. Now, I want to get away completely for now, from the religious connotation that the religious meanings that people have given um, God and the devil. We could call it good and evil, but I found that those aren't names, those are descriptions. So I have come up with a couple of names that fit like a glove in this situation, okay? Um, Now's a good time. Get out that piece of paper and a pen. If you don't have it, pause the video, go get it, okay? Because it's gonna come in so useful now, you know? So go get it. I'll give you a second. In other words, pause your video. All right. Now, we have a pen, we have a pad, paper, whatever. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line right down the middle of the page like this. Okay? Next. Next, I want you to draw a line across the page like this. Okay? Across. Funny. Who? Boy, how this applies. How this applies. Everything is relative, man. Everything is connected in some way. If you look hard enough, if you look close enough, everything's connected. I call the guy on the right our right hand man. Okay? He's on our right shoulder. Our right hand man. His initials are RHM. All right. Now, if we were to sound out his initials, RHM, Ram. Okay, Ram. Which, incidentally, is God's name. Ram is God's name in ancient Indian culture, spelled RAM. But when we say Ram, we're talking about our right hand man. Okay? Right hand woman wouldn't work here, ladies. Okay? But feel free to add an A to yours and call her Rama. Coincidentally, also God's name in ancient Indian culture. So now in the upper right hand box, okay, in the upper right hand box, we are going to write, okay, I want you to write Ram, RHM, Ram, or Rama, if you choose. Ladies, by all means. Okay. All right. Now, once you've done that, put the pen down. Okay. Just for a second. You're going to pick it up again in a minute. Let me tell you a little bit about Ram. All right. Let me tell you everything about Ram. Rama. Ram is beautiful, loving, compassionate. Ram is kind, gentle. Ram is reassuring. Ram is supportive. Ram is forgiving. Ram is courage, strength, any and all good qualities Ram is. Ram doesn't ask anything of you. Ram doesn't expect anything of you. And Ram doesn't need anything from you. He will protect you in every way possible. Ram gives you happiness because Ram loves you. You know, Ram needs nothing. He's Ram. Ram heals us. He makes us feel good. Ram is our vital energy. When you get up in the morning and you look at that sunshine and the birds and the trees and the smell of that beautiful spring summer air, that's Ram. Ram is, like I said, Ram is gentle, soft spoken. He doesn't say much. He doesn't have to. And everything Ram says to you is the absolute, eternal truth. Ram has no reason to lie to you. That's Ram. Ram says things to us like, for example, get ready to write. Um, you know, get ready to write. You've heard Ram saying things like, you're so much better than this. You're so much smarter than this. You're awesome. Don't let anybody tell you anything other than that. You can do anything you put your mind to. You'll show them, you know. Ram says things like, I love you. I believe in you. He says, Ram says, everything's going to be okay. Trust me. Everything's going to work out. You know, go for it. Give it all you've got. Do your best. You know, Ram is our biggest cheerleader. Ram wants to see us win. You know, now stop thinking about it right now, whether this is right or wrong. You know, um, quiet your mind for a second and think back. You've heard these things. You've heard Ram's voice, Rama's voice at sometimes, few times, or many times in your life. Not often, you know. He's very difficult to hear sometimes. And Ram only shows up when you need him or her the most. To let you know that she's got your back. You know, that things are gonna be okay. Take a few minutes, okay, and try to write down under Ram, right here in this section right here, all the things you've heard that beautiful, gentle, good, reassuring, loving, compassionate voice say to you. It won't take long because, as I mentioned, Ram doesn't really say much. But think, concentrate, do your best. 100% your best, not perfection. Excellence. Give it excellence. Pause the video. And when you are absolutely certain that what you have is all there is, come back. All right? I'll wait a couple of minutes actually. Let me know when you're ready. I miss my universe. Amazing gift. Amazing. Keep going. Everything you've ever heard Ram say to you. All right. Welcome back. How long is the list you just made? Did you need any more than 5, 10 sentences, if that? You know? Okay, good. Moving on. So Ram believes in you because Ram created you and Ram gave you everything you need to do anything, whatever you want to do. And deep down inside, you know this. You know that you're capable of doing so much more than you've been doing or have ever done. You know? That's it. That energy, that power, that love, that inspiration, that willing to go forward, that is Ram. That is your right hand man, your biggest cheerleader. Ram doesn't talk unless Ram absolutely has to. And when Ram does talk, as I said, he may not say much. Ram's words are short and to the point. They are words of encouragement, compassion, forgiveness, words of love. But more important than any of it, more important than anything you wrote down, no matter what Ram says to you, is beyond any doubt the absolute, eternal truth. God doesn't lie. Why should he have to lie? He's got nothing to lie about. That's all there is to know about Ram. That's it. That's it. Now, let's talk about this motherfucker, okay? Oh my God, wait till you hear this fucking shit. The guy sitting on our left shoulder, okay? I call this prick Lefty, okay? I want you to get your pen right there. Left top hand corner, right Lefty, all caps. All caps. And you see I put the periods after every letter, okay? All caps, Lefty, okay? The reason I call him Lefty is not because he's sitting on my left shoulder. No, it has nothing to do with that. Lefty is an acronym to best describe the guy on the left. This is what Lefty stands for. Little evil fucker torturing you. Lefty stands for little evil fucker torturing you. Okay? Little evil fucker torturing you. You could even write it down if you want. Little evil fucker torturing you. All right? I know this monster like the back of my hand. Listen up and listen good, because this right here, right now, is where this all starts coming together, man. Where everything I have said to you up until this point, it will all start making sense to you right now. Lefty is the equal opposite to Ram in every way. Every way. Equal opposite. Night and day. In the Matrix, Ram is Neo's exact opposite, Agent Smith. To the Autobots, Lefty is the Decepticon. Fucking great name for him, right there, too. Deceptive and a con artist. Okay, Decepticon. Lefty, he is David's Goliath. Okay? And just like David, my brothers and sisters, we are all today, we are going to strike him down forever. He's not getting up after this one. Ram is light. Lefty, darkness. Ram is awesome. Lefty is puny. He is decrepit, putrid. Ram is all about love. Lefty, hatred. Ram heals us. He makes us feel good. Ram is our vital energy. Energy to live a vibrant life. Lefty makes us sick, which is only another form of control. Lefty sucks us dry. He makes us lazy and lethargic. And Lefty loves it when we're down in the dumps. Ram is beautiful, compassionate, kind, gentle, reassuring. Ram is supportive, forgiving. Ram is courage. Ram is strength. Ram is perfect health. Ram is the cure. Ram is Napoleon Hill giving his son, who was born with no ears, the ability to hear like you and I, better than you and I. Any and all good qualities Ram is. Lefty. Lefty is ugly. Has no mercy. Lefty is rude, rough, demeaning, unforgiving. He kicks you when you're down, when you're in the gutter. He pounds on you. Day in and day out, nonstop. Lefty is fear. Lefty is weakness. Lefty is the sickness. Lefty is the disease. Lefty is responsible for Anita Morjani going into a coma. Her body infested with cancer. Her vital organs shut down. Any and all bad qualities Lefty is. Here's a point I want to make about Anita, by the way. Lefty tried to kill her, tried to take her life, but Ram brought her back. Ram gave her life. Ram doesn't ask anything of you. He doesn't expect anything of you, doesn't need anything of you, and will protect you in every way possible. Ram will give you freedom when someone tries unjustly to take it away from you. Ram will save your marriage, help you to guide your children. He will put everything you need to help you and everyone around you to experience happiness and bliss. That is who Ram is, happiness and bliss. Ram, when it's time to step back, to let you be independent, to find happiness on your own. That is how Ram created you. He gave you everything you need. Free will. That's it. Everything you need. And when you can hear Ram, like you just did writing out, wasn't it, oh God, glorious, celestial? It was just, take my word for it, man. I talk to him all the time. I talk to Rama all the time. I even have my own name for Joe Pesci. Lefty. Lefty wants it all, man. He expects you to do whatever the fuck he tells you to do. He will hurt you in any and every way possible. Lefty will put you in fucking jail. He'll ruin your marriage. OD your kids. Overdose your kids. He will put a knife, a gun, a baseball bat, or a pen in your hand to make you and as many people around you as possible suffer. That is who Lefty is. Lefty is suffering. Lefty keeps pushing. And a lot of times he goes too far. People believe his bullshit, or rather, he's so excellent and so cunning at spewing it. And he hurts people in such profound ways that many times good people, beautiful people, end up with a gun in their mouth, a rope around their neck, or a needle in their arm. Anything to make him stop talking, criticizing, condemning, and complaining. Our every move, our every action, our every decision, nonstop. When you listen to Lefty, it's the radio station from hell itself. Trust me. I talk to him all the time too. You remember when we were talking not too long ago? I said that, I hear, oh, you got to pay your bills, you got to be responsible, you got to do what you're supposed to do. And I said, go fuck yourself. And then I said that sometimes it lingers. Lefty lingers and keeps fucking poking at me, until I get to the point where I just tell him, hey, go fuck yourself. This is what I do. You remember that, right? That's how I talk to him all the time. And you'll learn too. You'll learn a lot more. There's a lot more coming. All right. So Lefty, even though he's a fucking asshole, sometimes the bad news becomes good news. Ram needs nothing from you. Lefty wants everything. He needs everything from you. Ram does everything possible to protect you, to give you happiness, because Ram loves you. Lefty does everything and anything possible to hurt you, to make you suffer. Lefty despises you. Ram is gentle, soft spoken, doesn't say much, doesn't have to. And everything Ram says to you is the absolute eternal truth. Ram has no reason to lie to you. That's Ram. Lefty is brutal, vile, disgusting. Lefty does not shut the fuck up ever. He is so loud and obnoxious that you can hardly hear Ram speaking to you. You remember when I said that sometimes it's hard to hear him? It's because this fucking cocksucker is making so much noise. Lefty cannot, because that's who he is, he cannot stop beating on you, degrading you, because if he does, he is afraid that you might escape from his claws. Now, I am not going to pretend to know why. As a matter of fact, I don't even care why Ram does what he does. Ram is just bliss. Beautiful. Period. I'm also, and a lot of people do this, a lot of people do this. I'm not going to pretend. Calls keep coming in. Let me shut this off. Okay. I'm also not going to pretend to know why, and I also do not care why Lefty does what he does. You know, he needs this to eat and all that stuff you've heard it said. Like I said, this is my way of telling the story. I don't care why Lefty does what he does. Lefty is just suffering. Period. That's all I need to know. Everything that Ram says to you is the absolute eternal truth. Period. Everything. All right? Equal opposite. Everything that Lefty says to you is absolutely 100% bullshit. Everything he says to you is a lie. I spent days and 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 months going over in my mind all the things that Lefty had ever said to me. And never once on any occasion had Lefty ever told me, not so much as a fucking ounce, an iota of truth. Never, not once. You know? Scratch that. The only time that Lefty ever spoke any truth whatsoever was when he was coding it with lies to use against me, to rub it in my face. I told you so, you fat fuck. End result, I felt like shit about who I am. And I based my actions and my decisions on that bullshit, on those lies. Hence, suffering. Tons of it. Now it's time for you to pull out that piece of paper again and that pen. Take as long as you need and write down. You probably don't have to think back too far, maybe as recently as today, as soon as you woke up, as soon as you realized that life wasn't working out the way you want it to work out. You don't have the things that you want in your life. Many of you, many of you, many of you have heard him nonstop, just like me, for 36 years. I don't have to give you examples of the things he says to you. I'm sure you have enough of your own. While you're writing, when I say go, you can start writing. I'm going to go over a few of the things that he said to me. All right? Let's begin. Go. Start writing. Some of the things that Lefty has said to me are, you're too stupid. You're not educated enough. You're a 5th grade, 6th grade dropout. You're too fat. You're a lazy fuck. Your dick is too small. You're barely GED'd homeless truck driver from the Bronx. No one will know you have ever existed. You are a waste of life and oxygen. You're not good enough. You've never been good enough. You will never be good enough. You're a loser, an asshole, an idiot. You never have and never will amount to anything in your life, douchebag. You're a liar, a thief, good for nothing, a drug addict, a food addict. You have no self-control whatsoever. Grab another cigarette. People aren't going to listen to you. The last thing this world needs, and remember this, is another one of you, Bobby boy. You're kidding me, right? You, douchebag, you are going to save the world. You can't even save yourself, you worthless, fucking useless idiot. Dumbass. Your life is almost over, fat man. You could die any day, man. Heart will give out. Look at what you've done to yourself. Look at the mirror. You're a disgrace. If anybody listened to you, they'd have to be out of their fucking mind. Go back to driving a truck. That's what you deserve. That's what you'll ever be. All you'll ever be. Till the day you die. A failure. Yeah, right. This time it's going to be different. This time things are going to work out. Who are you kidding? It's not going to be different this time. Like every time. As long as you're involved, nothing is going to work out. Have I been wrong before? Stop kidding yourself. Get real. All you ever do is hurt people, asshole. Your daughters don't want to have anything to do with you because you're a bad father. You abandoned them. Father. Can you even call yourself that? You're more like a sperm donor. Brutal, man. Brutal. Brutal. You should just do yourself and everyone around you a favor. Fucking kill yourself. Put yourself out of your fucking misery already, you good for nothing piece of shit. Well, I've had about enough. How about you? Stop writing. Truth be told, if you suffer, and especially if you suffer the way I did, you don't have enough paper. Not enough paper. And we don't have enough time in the world to write down everything that little evil fucker torturing you has ever said to you. 60,000 times a day. Day in, day out, year after year, decade after decade. Some people for their entire lives. For the most part, for an extremely large percentage of the time, for me, it was almost 100% of the time. For me, my entire waking life was one big, long, never-ending insult. A degrading, demeaning, just plain fucking mean, cold-hearted, brutal assault. A barrage of crippling emotions, man, and feelings. And most of all, here are the most important 3 things that you really need to get. Write them down. I'll tell you what to write. Number 1, all these horrible things that Lefty led us to believe about ourselves and about others were lies. Write it down. Everything Lefty says is a lie. Fact. All of them. Unless he's using the truth against you. Absolute fucking bullshit. They were never true. Never. Not one of them. I looked. I tried. Never once. Never in any word he ever spoke. Unless he could twist it around to use it against me. They were all lies. Everything you've ever heard him say to you was all lies. And you believed them because you thought they were you. That all those things, all those horrible fucking things, you thought that it was you saying them. You thought that all those things about you were true. They were not. Sit with that for a second. Right here, right now. I know, man. Fucking bruised knuckles. every single negative, disgusting, putrid, demeaning, insulting, degrading, every single one of them was a lie. And you believed that they were true. You believed that they were you, and they were not. Question. If these things that he said that you've believed, if all those things, if they're, if everything that you've ever been told through that voice, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for as long as you've been conscious, okay? You've been hearing him how long? How long? If you hear that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for 36 years, or however long you've listened to him, eventually it becomes your nature. Based on your own experience of living life through the eyes of a depressed, worthless, afraid, if your own experience is the above mentioned, what results would you expect from a person like that? Now you know who is truly responsible, whose fault it is. Now you see him and you have heard him. Now you can point the finger where it deserves to be pointed. Remember what I said? Anyone who suffers is an MPD. Every person who suffers, which is pretty much every single one of us, myself included. I'm just aware of Lefty now, and I can control him now. I am going to show you here and now how you can control him too. The second most important thing you can learn. Listen carefully. If everyone who suffers is an MPD and does things, does everything, they know what they are doing, not knowing why they are doing them. And based on what Lefty has made them believe is true, when in fact they are lies. What they have done and been doing and are planning to do is based on lies that they believed were the truth. If my dog chews up something that I left laying around, do I blame the dog? If my dog chews up something that I left laying around, do I beat the dog? If someone is clinically or mentally retarded and he kills someone, Do we send them to death row? No. The global elite, Obama, Bush, Monsanto executives, the bankers, Wall Street corporations, pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, military Mongols, the media, religious leaders, politicians, lawyers, doctors, psychiatrists, thieves, rapists, dictators, communists, China, Russia, North Korea, Hitler, the son of Sam, every crime of passion, every crime, period. If all these people are MPDs and not one, not one of them, not only them, every single person that you know that has done you wrong, every and any person, any, that from this point on, if they are not aware that they are an MPD, if all these people base their decisions to do what they do or have done what they've done based on lies that they thought were the truth, now that you know this, do we blame them anyway? Do we punish them anyway? Do we kill them anyway? Or do we do what Jesus Christ did because he knew what I am telling you? Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. JCC, I spoke about that. Jesus Christ courage. What gave Jesus the courage he had was the knowledge that, in fact, the people crucifying him truly had no idea why they were doing it. They knew what they were doing. They didn't know why they were doing it. They were only doing what they were doing because they believed the lies that Lefty was telling them was the truth. Jesus Christ forgiveness. What gave Jesus the ability to forgive was the compassion that he felt, because he knew that since we were created equally, that the same love that he had inside for his fellow man and woman was in their hearts as well. And he knew beyond a doubt that they couldn't see it. And he knew it beyond a doubt because he knew and saw their suffering. And therefore, he had compassion for them. And therefore, forgiving them was no big deal. This world, my brothers and sisters, with your help, with your love, and your courage, and your knowledge, now that you have it, this world will be a very different place when the love of power is replaced with the power of love. Once we get to that place, oh my God, there'll be nothing that we can't do. we were on that path this very moment. We are on the yellow brick road. We're about to see the wizard very soon. Number 3. The third most important thing that you can learn is that the same applies to you. This time on a bigger scale. Because now you know what they don't. And the same applies to you as well. When it comes to everything you have ever done in your life that has caused you or the people around you to suffer. If all the decisions that you have made are based on lies, that you were conned into believing were true, and while you knew what you were doing, you really didn't know why you were doing it. You were unconscious. You had no idea why or that you were even doing it. If someone is clinically and mentally retarded and he kills someone, do we send him to death row? No. We forgive them. Wasn't his fault. He didn't know why he was doing what he was doing. He didn't even know what he was doing. The time has come, right here, right now, for you to forgive yourself for anything and everything you've ever done based on the life experience you have gained from all the lies that Lefty conned you into believing were true. This is not about not taking responsibility for your actions, because they were not your actions. You, the real you, was nowhere to be found, just like Charlie. No. This act of forgiving yourself, it's not about not taking responsibility for your actions. It is about taking responsibility for your actions and doing the only logical and right thing to do, to forgive yourself. Not too many people ever have the opportunity to have what you now have. A fucking clean slate. A fresh start. A new beginning. Now your fucking engine is clean. It is free from any and all influences but your very own. And now I'm going to show you how to take control. I'm going to give you the best tools, the very best high performance parts available to mankind. To mankind. And with them, you are going to start building an engine. You start building the life that you've always dreamed of having, but more importantly, the life you've always known you were entitled to. Because you were conned into believing that all that garbage, dust, and debris about yourself and about the people around you and about what you were capable of and not capable of doing. Now you are going to reach heights you were never able to achieve. Now that you know the truth, the absolute, eternal truth. At least that's what it is to me. So, now you know Ram. And now you know Lefty. The culprit responsible for all the suffering you and the world has ever known. Do you remember when I told you in the beginning that you did not have two, but in fact, as an MPD, that you have three different personalities? Then I showed you this picture, good old Homer. Okay. So on his right shoulder is Ram, and on the left shoulder, that prick Lefty. You, the real you, you're Homer. You are the guy or girl on whose shoulders these two guys are sitting on. I'm now going to show you who exactly that person is. If you're like me, I had no fucking clue when I came to this conclusion. I don't know. It's a process. Very simple. We're almost done here. Fuck. What more do you want than what you've already learned? But you're getting more. It's a process. Remember the price, patience. It's a fairly simple, extremely easy to do for many of you, if not the majority of you. You have rarely, if ever, had a conversation with that person because you were so preoccupied, nonstop listening to the guys on your shoulders. And as we know who takes up the majority of that stage time. That prick. The guy who never shuts the fuck up. This is the process of shutting him down. I'm busy, buddy. Let me explain something to you. Now, more than ever, now, he's going to fucking start screaming at you. He's going to start throwing things at you. Up to and including the fucking kitchen sink, you know? He's probably been doing it already throughout this whole fucking time, trying to find little fucking things that he could tear apart to take you away from what you're learning. Don't listen to that guy. He's fucking full of shit. He's lying to you. Are you gonna trust him? Again? You gonna believe him? Lefty's going to do everything he can to distract you from what you're about to learn, to invalidate what I'm telling you. He's going to use every tactic he can because right now he's freaking out. He knows what's coming. No matter what he's telling you, he's fucking lying to you. That's a fact. He is the total and complete opposite of Ram. He's going to be nice to you right now. Don't let him con you. He's done that to you long enough. Let me tell you something. One of the times, once when I was in that position where I was on the verge of fucking ending my life, I put myself in a position. Now, Lefty doesn't want to kill you. He wants to keep you around. You're his slave. You're his bitch. And when I found myself in that position, Ram said something to me, and I heard him loud and clear. You know what Lefty said to me? Yeah. Listen to him. Listen to him. All right? Listen to him. Because if my life ends, no more suffering. He doesn't get what he wants anymore. He doesn't exist. And me, at least. So, don't believe a word he says. Fuck him. That's it. We're not going to talk about shutting him down anymore. Let's get to it. Every single day of your life, for as long as you can remember, you tell your body and your mind to do things all the time. For example, when you get up in the morning, or you get up to go to work, whatever hour that is, from the moment you get up till the moment you go to bed, you're giving yourself commands. You tell yourself to do things, and you do them without question most of the time. All of the time, without fail. You say, okay, get up, go take a shower, brush your teeth, take a leak, put the coffee on, make breakfast, go to work, etc., all day long, till you go to bed. Follow me? It's that simple. In a minute, I am going to raise a piece of paper with a command on it. Many of you have never used this command. You didn't even know it was there. However, if you have heard this command, you aren't giving yourself this command. What you were doing was asking yourself to do this. Asking to do something and doing something are two different things. The one we're going to use now, this is going to be you doing a command. Doing a command. The same way that you do it when you say, let me get up and go take a shower. With no less effort, no more effort. This is a simple, easy thing to do. It's a simple request. Nothing can happen to you if you do it or you don't do it. Well, if you do it, things will change. If you do it, you're going to experience a freedom like you've never felt before. You'll feel something. You will hear something. You will see something. But you have to pay close attention to it because chances are that you're only going to hear it for a millisecond. But that's all it's going to take. Don't worry if you get it and you lose it right away. That means nothing at all. And with more and more practice, it will become you because it is you. Repetition is the mother of skill. I am even going to do it with you. So you're not alone. I'm going to do it too. The same way that you tell yourself to do things, I want you to say your name, whatever it is, and then when I put the piece of paper with the command written on it in front of the camera, in front of me, I want you to then execute. Hit the fucking enter button. Do the command without any hesitation. This is very important. Are you ready? Say your name. Holy fuck, man. Shit. Did you hear it? I get giddy. It puts a smile on my face every time I do it, and I do it often all day long. Do it again. Say your name. Say your name. Oh man, the relief. It's like having a pencil in my temple. 24 hours a day for fucking 36 years, and all of a sudden, the release, the relief. In this one moment. And if Lefty started throwing things at you already, fuck him. He's lying to you. Let it go. If you hear him starting up again, say the command again. Give it to yourself. So and so, stop thinking now. And he shuts up. Can you hear that? That deep, serene, calm, deafening silence. Can you hear that? That is you. That is the real you. Not 5 minutes ago, not 5 minutes from now, not a month from now, not a week from now. Stop thinking now. And in this moment, that he's nowhere to be found, in this moment, in this one single moment, right here, right now, not 5 minutes from now, now, in this moment. Are you too fat? Just for this moment. Do you need a better car? Just in this moment. Just in this one. Just this one. Do you need a better house? Honestly. In this moment. Just right now. Right now. This moment is all you ever have. It's the only thing you have. This moment. It's been lent to you. Might have to give it back. Matter of fact, you're gonna have to get it back, give it back. When? I don't know. But the only thing you have is this moment. And in this moment, you are. What do you need right here, right now, in this moment? What do you need? Are you worried about your cell phone bill in this moment, just this one moment, just now, that you're at peace? Now. Stop thinking now. In this moment, are you worried about your rent? Are you worried about your bills? Just one moment at a time. Just one. Understand. I want you to see something. That this moment has just passed. It's gone. Can't get it back. We don't know what's going to happen a moment from now. Don't know. Have no control over it. So we could accept it, that we have no control, accept it. Or we could be pissed off about it. But being pissed off about it, resisting the fact that we have no control over it, doesn't change that we have no control over it. The only thing that we could do, accept it. Lefty's going to start, oh, but you got to pay your bills and you're working a job you hate. Everything that he tells you is a lie to bring about suffering. In this moment, think about it. Pause the video and be in this moment, this one moment, right here, right now. Be with yourself. You've never been with yourself before. And ask yourself, in this moment, is there anything you need? What do you call someone who doesn't need anything? You call that person someone who has everything. Moving on. Now you know how to get to you, to get to the real you. Now you know who is the real you. So you could pause this video. You could go over what we did. We could go over everything we've said. And you'll get it even more and more and more and more. Remember, Marcus Aurelius, dozen times back to back. Every time I did it, I got something else that gave me a profundity for what I was learning. So, what you've just witnessed, by the way, what you have just witnessed in that one moment that you gave yourself that command, what you have just witnessed in that moment, you were meditation. You were yoga. So let's move on. A brief note on maintenance. Okay, the more you practice, the longer you'll be able to stay there in that place. You'll be amazed. Amazed at what you'll find, at the value that you will find now that you know who you are. In the beginning, for me, it was just like that, just boom, just 1 second, fucking less than a second. But I got it. I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Now it's a part of who I am. I can no longer go back to the way I used to be. I can no longer allow myself to feel something that is a lie. Let me give you some great news. Remember in the intermission when I told you that I had done everything in 3 days? How do you think I was able to do that? Focus, laser beam precision, precision, and then action, supersonic speed, action. Not too long after I shut them down, and remember that I told you that it's been proven that we can only focus on one thing at a time? I wasn't completely honest about that because you wouldn't believe me because it's been proven. But now, think about this. Those 60,000 thoughts, useless, fucking, demeaning, degrading, bullshit, lying thoughts, they're gone now. Gone. You have room to put new shit in there. You are going to be amazed at how much you now, how many things you can do at once, giving 100% focus to everything going on around you. 100% focus, man. Quick example. Um, what I did when I noticed that that's what was happening, I was able to drive the truck, being fully aware of everything. And what I did was I started adding other things, like turning on the radio, you know, making a phone call. And my limit that I reached to do at one time was like 6 or 7 things where I had total focus on all of them at the same time. Remember when I told you that people say that there isn't enough time in a day? Remember that? Remember what I said about it? I said they were wrong. That there is more than enough time in a day. That there is time to spare. Of course, there's time to spare. Now that those 60,000 useless thoughts are gone, left the asshole, he's gone. Even this very moment, you're realizing that what I'm telling you is true. You're starting to realize, holy shit, how much fucking time you really have. Now you're going to understand what I meant about content. Now, in a single moment, you will realize now that the moment isn't occupied with lies and bullshit. You're going to be blown away when you start seeing how much you can fit in that single space. Good things take time. Remember that. The full effect of how many things can fit in a moment for me took 3 years, but remember that I'm condensing everything that I've learned in this short little video. I said to you before that by the end of this video, you will know the value of every moment of time. It's either priceless or worthless. There you go. Now you know. Now you know why I said to you before that I get pissed off when people say I think, because I know that they're just talking out of their ass, and what it is a waste of fucking time. And there's just so much that you can do with and in a single moment. Moment by moment, I have brought this to you. It has been 8 days since I started here with you. Here we are. Remember when I told you to give this moment your very best? Remember the statue? I wouldn't touch it until I could give it 100% because it was that important to me. So I am offering this time to something beautiful and amazing, sacred. Take care of this moment right here, right now. And the future will take care of itself. Get off the clock. And we'll talk more about this in part four. But I rarely wear a watch. I rarely look at a clock unless I gotta go to work. I gotta be there at 9, so I gotta know what time I gotta be there. But when I'm not working, when I'm not on a time schedule, there's no such thing. Because there is no such thing here. Think about it. Don't get distracted. Don't look for a clock. What time is it? Stay here in this moment. Stop thinking. What time is it? Do you know? Do you care? Does it matter? No. The only thing that matters is this one single moment that you and I are sharing. That's it. The way I see it, things will get done when they get done. I don't know when part 4 is coming. I didn't know when part 3 was coming. All I did know is that every moment that my heart was beating and every moment that my lungs were breathing, that I was giving 100% to this moment. And this moment and this one 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 is how 100 years go by. 100 years from now is going to happen in this moment, a moment identical to this one moment. Everything you do from this moment on, give it your best. Now you can, because now you can give it literally 100% focus. You're going to be amazed at the quality of the things you do. Even in the simplest thing. Like, for example, when I drink this glass, when I grab this glass and I take a drink of water, it meant nothing to me in the past, but now I feel the glass. I see my fingers, how they look through the glass. I feel the glass. I smell the water. I taste the water. Every single taste bud in my mouth tastes the water. I see the water. You know, I'm part of the entire experience. And that entire experience, including everything around it, this room, this computer, everything, every color, every shape, every aspect, the content is amazing. And all that content comes to you in a single moment. And you have so many of them on a daily basis. All these experiences in a single moment, never ending. And the more you see it, the better you get at it. And the more things start popping out at you that you didn't notice were there. And you didn't notice that they were there for you. And then you start appreciating things. And then you start being grateful for them. Grateful to the person, to the one that lent it to you for your benefit. No matter what that benefit looks like. Trust me. I'm going to throw you a bonus now. In this moment, how you take care of this moment, what you do in this moment will directly impact everything you ever do. Every moment that you are fortunate enough to be given 100 years from now, moment at a time, one moment at a time. In part 4, we'll talk more about this. But for now, let's get back to Lefty. This section is about what to look out for. I know uh, how creative Lefty can be, and what you can do when he gets in your face. Now, you'll be able to figure this out on your own. All you have to do is do what Thomas Jefferson said. The price of your freedom is eternal vigilance of that cocksucker and starting to educate yourself on how he works because he will do shit to you. You'll have no fucking idea that he's what he's up to. He'll set you up. He'll put pieces in place. All right. Number one, the first thing, the first fucking um clue um that Lefty's talking, you're afraid. Fear. That's his number one tool. That's his number one tool is fear. He'll try to instill fear in you in some way, shape, or form. But remember, all lies. Remember that number one fact, all lies. Remember that every moment of every day. Be eternally vigilant. All right? So number one, if you feel fear in your body, if you feel worry, concern, anxiety, think about what you're listening to and what you are believing to be true, when in fact, I can guarantee it's a lie. Or guarantee, or the truth being twisted around to hurt you, to rub it in your face. That's been my experience every single day since the moment that I met him. And it was a fact for every single thing he ever said in my life before it. Eating a piece of shit if you choose to believe the lies that Lefty is telling you to be the truth. You are eating a piece of shit. That's it. That's it. No matter what it is, it doesn't matter. I need to make more money. You know, if you want things, figure out how to get them. You don't need them. You want them. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Especially when it's for the betterment of humanity. So you're going to eat fucking shit. A way that I explain this is very simple, okay? If you and I are friends, we love each other, and I ask you to lend me $50, I'll pay you next week. All right, next week comes, I come back to you. Listen, lend me another $50. I'll pay you next week. You know me, you love me, right? You lend me another $50. The next week goes by, the next week goes by, the next week go by, same thing. Listen, I don't have the money to pay you back, but lend me another $50. I promise you I'll pay you back. Come Friday, you can't find me. I'm dodging your phone calls. Can't find me. Lend me another $50. At what point do you say, go fuck yourself? I'm giving you another dime. At what point? I've done this exercise with people, and usually, believe it or not, usually, no matter how much you love me, usually, 100, $150, you ain't lending me no more money. I've gone as high as 750 for the person to say, I ain't fucking gonna, no, no, I don't care how much I love you, no. Matter of fact, I'm kind of pissed off at you now. Every lie, every insult, every piece of advice that Lefty's ever given you, nothing more than conning you into giving him another $50. Now, listen to this. Most people stop at 150, between 150 and 750 so far. Okay? That's just $150. $750. That's it. You won't lend me any more money. But yet, you'll keep lending Lefty as much as he fucking wants. And he always lies to you. He never pays you back. And here's the bad part about that. We're not dealing in dollars and cents. My brothers and sisters, we're dealing with fucking time. Something that you have a very limited amount of. And you don't know when you're going to have to give it back. Lefty doesn't deal in dollars and cents. Lefty deals in days, hours, decades, centuries. That's what Lefty deals in. Think about how much time you have given him over and over and over again. He's never been right, and he's only kicked you when you're down, when you tried to do what he told you to do. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, man. You know? Tell him what people tell me. Pfft, go fuck yourself. I'm not giving you another fucking penny. Tell Lefty, go fuck yourself. I'm not giving you another moment. Fuck you. Not another moment. There you go. That's it. Think about it. Eating shit, giving this guy another fucking $50 that you're never gonna see, that you're gonna lose. Another moment that you're gonna lose. Another month that you're gonna lose. Another year that you're gonna lose. Believing a lie and beating yourself up for it. Fuck that. No more. No more. We're also going to talk about fear in part 4 and in the seminar. Conquer it completely. What the fuck do you have to be afraid about? None of that shit he ever said to you is true. You are strong enough. You are smart enough. You are capable enough. You can't do absolutely fucking anything you set your mind to. Anything. Because now you control it. It doesn't control you. I use an analogy sometimes that works. And that is Lefty is your computer. When you sit down at your computer, what do? You sit down in the chair, you pull up a browser, you type in the information that you are looking for. And then you get your information. What do? You shut off the computer and you walk away, right? That's what you do. Now, people who let Lefty control them, let their computer control them, what would you expect would a person look like if they sat down at their computer and they were unable to stop punching in, clicking, enter, 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 and all the information that they were fucking getting and they're looking at 24 hours a day, all their waking moments of life, they're looking at garbage information, war, destruction, poverty, illness, depression, murder, genocide, infidelity, you know? What would that person look like? Here's what I think he would look like. He would look like he's going out of his fucking mind, strapped to a chair in a fucking straitjacket, hasn't showered in a year. Isn't that how you have lived your lives? That's how I lived mine. I was that fucking lunatic that had no control, believing everything that was coming up on the screen. That was nothing but bullshit, garbage, lies, intimidation, fear. Answering every fucking pop-up ad, believing that I had won the lotto. Holy shit, this could work. Holy shit, that could work. Believe in me. Remember? Moving on. You get the fucking point. Don't listen to that fucking prick anymore. Do yourself a favor. Kill him. Kill him for now. Alright? Lefty is fucking funny. He's fucking funny. Oh my god. Oh my god, the shit he'll fucking say to me. I just fucking laugh at him. Wow, man. That's a good one. Woo, goddamn, you're fucking good, And I'm telling you, cunning. We'll talk more about him. We're gonna talk a lot about this motherfucker. Notice, by the way, that we haven't had to talk about Ram. But this motherfucker, Ram is simple. Lefty, complicated. Complicated. All right, let's move on to automatic emotions. I told you, about the dog being angry, going through that anger. Just because now you're aware, all right, your body has been used to doing things a certain way based on circumstances that you've had, okay? And your body will automatically react. Okay, it'll automatically react. And like I told you, remember when I told you with the dog that I was really angry and I got red hot and that stopped me in my tracks? Here's why it stopped me in my tracks when I didn't get red hot. What I realized was that I was not angry. I'm not angry, and yet I'm doing all these fucking things as if I'm a psychopath. Not only am I not angry, but the only thing that I hear is I love my dog. Look at him. Look at him. All right. Come on, get down. Come on. Let me finish this shit. Nice man. I love you. Get lost for a minute. I'm almost done. Raw and uncut, right? All right. Let me make sure this is in. Yeah, everything's in. Okay. All right. Automatic emotions, very simple, man. Sadness, suffering, any type of suffering, any type of anger. If you found yourself in that position in the past and now you find yourself in it again, be aware, eternal vigilance. Price of freedom, eternal vigilance. Okay. Stay on top of it all the time. All right. Now, automatic emotions. Come on, you got that shit. So let's move on. This is not about not taking responsibility for our actions. Okay? Let's get really clear about that. I'm not saying, oh, you've done something fucked up and now you don't have to pay. No, that's not what I'm saying. Um, this is not about not taking responsibility for our actions. It is about taking responsibility for our actions. And the only action that we can take responsibility for, that we can be accountable for, is the truth that we did not know what we were doing. So, to take the proper responsibility and to hold ourselves accountable for the truth of this situation is to forgive ourselves for our unknown negligence, and from this point forward, to never let Lefty tell us what to do again. Now, we are responsible. It is our responsibility now to open the eyes of those who still unknowingly are doing what Lefty tells them to do. I want to throw in a disclaimer here, okay? This is no excuse to go to court and say, well, I was insane when I did it. I wasn't conscious of it. I didn't know what I was doing. Lefty told me to do it. I know. I robbed the bank, but it was Lefty. Now, let me explain the situation real quick, okay? Let's say you rob a bank, right? You rob a bank and you didn't know that this was happening. Now you're sitting in jail and you find out that it was Lefty's fault. Now your physical body, is still going to have to pay. Just like Jim Carrey, just like Charlie. Remember I told you that Charlie used to wake up all bruised and stuff because Hank got into a fight the night before. It's the same thing here. All right, now you find yourself in jail because you robbed the bank, or you killed someone, or you raped someone, but all of a sudden you realize, boom, Lefty was the one responsible. But now you're still sitting in prison. Now, the only thing that's going to make sitting in prison or sitting on death row, the only thing that is going to make a difference in your life is whether you choose to believe what Lefty is telling you is the truth, that being in jail is a bad thing. And he's going to tell you that it's a horrible thing. That it's fucked up. That, it sucks that you're in there. Of course, he's going to tell you these things. Why? Because he wants to make you fucking suffer as much as possible. And he's fucking lying to you. Lying to you. Nelson Mandela, perfect fucking example. 27 fucking years in prison. 27 years in prison. Read his autobiography, A Long Walk to Freedom. They made a movie about it recently, too. The autobiography, fucking much better. I mean, the movie was good. All right? It was good. But you can't sum up, 80 years of a man's life in a 2-hour movie. Can't do it. So anyway, here's Nelson Mandela. He's in jail. He has a choice. He could rot or he could fight. If you know the story, you know the answer. Did he choose to believe Lefty? Did he choose to believe that was what was happening to him was wrong? Did he choose to suffer? And hey, you know what? Remember what I said 5 years ago? I'm not who I am today. I'm sure that, it pretty much sucked for him and he suffered a lot. But Ram freed him. Ram gave him the strength and the courage to push on. Lefty just tried to fucking, destroy him. But Lefty lost because Lefty is puny and Ram is awesome. So that's the disclaimer. Now, also, okay, let's say that now you're awake. Now you know who Lefty is. Now you know that he's talking to you. And you choose to do something anyway. All right? Now you're to be held responsible and you deserve whatever it is, the consequence of your action is going to be because you were conscious now. Now you knew what you were doing, and for whatever reason, you also knew why you were doing it. All right? So don't try to. Lefty is the one that'll try to reason that bullshit out. That's what he'll do. All right? Let's talk about now about gangbangs. MPD gangbangs, okay? I'm going to tell you a quick story. A while ago, when I realized this, I called someone, a very good friend, someone that I trust, someone that I love, someone that I respect. Hold on one second. So anyway, someone that I love and respect, I give him a call, and this is what I said to him. I said, "Listen, you know what? I have this thing that I'm working on that I believe can really make a difference in people's lives. I believe that I have something to say. You know, this is what I was talking about." And this is what he did. He said, "Ah, oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh God, the last thing that this world needs is another 2,000 of you running around." He said, "You're a fucking loser. You've never done or accomplished anything in your lifetime, and you never will because you're a quitter. Are you kidding me? Go back to driving a truck," he said. You know, I want you to really think about that. I'm going to come back. I got to go take care of this little fucking terrorist, all right? Hold on. The little guy is barking, distracting me. I keep hearing him barking. Anyway, so have you seen what's happened? What happened was, you see, and we get into this again, later on, but the emotions that we have inside of us, they're not limited to this body. This is what I've come to know. Vibration and all that other shit. Okay. But here's the deal, you see, that that guy, all right, when he did that, oh my god, it crushed me. I kid you not. I called Rocket Man and told him about it. Rocket Man wanted to kill him. How dare he say something like that about you, you know? Rocket Man loves me. And I told Rocket Man, I said, listen, man, don't worry about it. It's true what he said. It wasn't true. So here's what happened. What happened was Lefty figured out that I wasn't listening to him anymore. And he was losing his control on me. So what happened was, Lefty used this other man's Lefty, because we're all MPDs. We all have Lefty. So Lefty will communicate with other lefties around you. Okay. And especially if you try shutting Lefty down in someone else, he'll do everything in that person, that Lefty, especially if he's really strong. And we'll talk about that. But in the gangbang situation, you'll have people calling you up out of nowhere and just trying to crush you, and that's Lefty doing it. If they're not aware, that they have a Lefty, their Lefty will gang up on you. And you'll have, how many times has it happened? You know, you want to do something, for example, like what I'm doing. How many people have said, I got this thing, and so many people around them try to crush them and put them down. Because what the person is trying to do is to what? Alleviate suffering. Lefty doesn't want that to happen in any way, shape, or form. So be careful with people around you that are gonna, you will actually start to be able to hear the lefty in them. You know, um, so that's something that you have to think about. All right. How do I know when lefty is saying something? It's never positive. It's always negative, or has the potential to be negative. It has the potential to put you or someone else in the path of suffering. And he is cunning in so many ways. We don't have the fucking time to go over how fucking creative this little cocksucker is. He'll fool you. He certainly has fucking fooled me. Remember that, I told you, he still till this day he tries to fool me. I'm aware of him. He'll start, oh, you got to pay your bills. You're not being responsible, yada, yada, yada. Nobody's going to listen to you. What are you, fucking stupid? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. As a matter of fact, if you go back into the video and I'm talking, you'll see when I'm talking about that particular thing that I'm actually go fuck yourself. Like I'm talking to Lefty. I am. I'm talking to him because I know he's there fucking trying to fucking stop me, trying to cause suffering. Eternal vigilance. Ramana Maharshi in that book, Words of Grace, it's a great book, again, to get, memorize, live by it. He said to be one step ahead of your thought, to be so vigilant that you are aware of the thought before it even happens. Fucking A, man, and you can do that. I'm still fucking, I'm there, but I'm not there yet. All right, so now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about without the 60,000 thoughts, useless, fucking degrading lies that you were being told. Now, think about this. What are you capable of achieving? Think about this. Think about this, okay? If we would have invested all the time, all of us collectively, if we would have invested all the time that we spent on useless, worrisome, and many times unrealistic thoughts or concerns over money, over our imperfections, over our fears, if we would have put all that time that we used for suffering and put it into perhaps, I don't know, anything else, we would have probably been able to solve every problem on this planet and we'd have time to spare. Think about it. You know, how do you know that the world is unconscious? Because we haven't solved these problems: hunger, war, homelessness, poverty, corruption, slavery, abuse, and the like. Have we? As long as we keep letting it happen, as long as we keep letting Lefty create more problems and more suffering and more insanity, what are you now capable of achieving? What are you now capable of achieving? In this part three, I told you, that you were going to learn how to learn. Now that you know how to learn, now that you know what knowing versus thinking, accurate thinking, now that you have accurate thinking, you know how to acquire and retain wisdom, and you no more have, you no longer have 60,000 useless bullshit thoughts taking up space on your hard drives, using up your resources. Use that equation, and now you know why I said in the beginning that you'll be able to learn and retain wisdom. Now you're going to fill up your library with amazing things, more than you ever imagined or thought possible. Here's a question: what are our children capable of achieving now if they know how to learn? If they know the difference between thinking they know something and knowing they know something, and they don't have 60,000 useless bullshit thoughts taking up space on their hard drives. Fucking think about this. Use that equation. Use that equation. Think about how they are going to start filling up their libraries, and with what amazing things. They will be able to achieve things that we never dreamed possible. I often say, you know what? It doesn't matter what the global elite have done. It doesn't matter if they're spraying silver dioxide, because if we start giving this freedom to our children and they start learning with laser beam precision and at supersonic speed, our children will figure out ways to make everything that's happened on this planet reverse it or make it beneficial, because we're going to create super scientists, super engineers. They're going to be able to learn and retain and have 100% understanding of information, of the goals they want to achieve, and nothing holding them back. No 60,000 useless fucking bullshit thoughts. Something to think about. We go over that in the seminar as well, you know, certain programs that we're working on for young adults, teens, and children to make sure that Lefty never fucking grabs a hold of them. Think about it. Think about what your life would be if you didn't have Lefty in your life ever. Now that we're finished with this section right now, we're talking about Lefty and how to fucking deal with him. Now that you've experienced this, now you understand why I said, fuck, does it suck to do it alone? Fuck, does it suck to have this and watch the people around you suffer needlessly for no reason? Now you understand. See how everything's starting to come together and everything's starting, you see what I'm saying? Now you also understand why I have to risk it all. You know, taking care of this moment, and only this moment. Now you understand why it's been so important to me, why I couldn't keep this to myself. Can you? Honestly, watch your kids suffer when they don't have to, needlessly. The people around you, the people in the world, man. You know, remember the Vedas? Walk and talk and think with others. I learned to walk and talk and think with you. That's what my whole life has been about. It's been preparation through my suffering to be able to relate to you. That's thinking and walking and talking with you. And then have others walk and talk and think with you. And that's what I'm saying to you. Have others walk and talk and think with you. It will create in your life brothers and sisters in ways you could never fucking fathom. Remember I told you that? All starting to come together now. Gandhi said, become the change that you want to see in the world. The Sermon on the Mount says, take the light that you have inside and create it outside. Create the kingdom of Joe Pesci outside. Do you want to see? Do you want to end all the suffering in the world? Fucking hey, who doesn't? Well, do it. Now you have the power to do it. And personally, I don't have the power to idly stand by and watch people I love by nature unconditionally. I cannot watch them suffer, especially when I know that the only reason that they're suffering is because they don't know why they're suffering. Can you stand by idly now? You know my answer to that question. Now you also know why I said that if I had to do this under a subway train, I'd do it with a smile on my face. Now you understand. Now you know firsthand what these videos can do for people. Don't be ashamed to love them, to love your fellow man. Remember, it's in your nature to love them. And remember in the beginning when I told you that I'm more ashamed to deny who I truly am than to do anything that others would disapprove of or judge me for. This material, it's free. There's no copyright, you know. Give it away. Copy everything. Make this information your own. It is your own. Certainly not mine. It was given to me, and it's worked for me, and now it's worked for you if you're still here. Tell everyone you know and everyone you meet. Give it away. Badboybuddha.com. Learn the material for yourself. Put your own website on there. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter how the message gets delivered. What matters is that it does. This is a gift that keeps on giving in a way that no other gift that we can give anyone can or ever will. And at the same time, I want to talk to you about the too far gone. All right. In the Matrix. All right. Morpheus says to Neo that I'm sorry for waking you up this late. That some people can't handle being unplugged from the Matrix after their mind has developed to a certain point. That they become dependent on the Matrix. Many people out there have suffered for so long, man. You know what? When I look at them, that's all I see is Lefty. That's all I hear. You know. But at the same time, at what point are you going to give up? At what point are you going to put down your fucking 50 caliber machine gun and raise the white flag? At what fucking point? Let me tell you something. That fucking Navy SEAL super fucking soldier, that motherfucker ain't going down. With his last breath, freedom and strength, God and country or death. They are unaware of their behavior. They do not control the things they do. You know that. They don't. You're the one calling him. You have the gift. He doesn't. In my bio. And I have a very dear friend who just lefty. But my persistence and my love for that person, unconditional love, regardless of what they did to me, what they said to me, how they treated me, regardless of how horrible others used to say that that person was treating me. No way, man. I ain't giving up. Fuck you. Fuck you, lefty. Fuck you. I'm fighting to the death. God and fucking country. And here's the good news. It paid off. It paid off, but it took a long time. And remember what I said. Sometimes, no matter what you do, there are some things that you cannot control. And it sucks to see someone suffer. However, are you going to tell the architect of the universe how to do his fucking job? I know I'm not qualified for that shit. I don't even know who the fuck I am. you know? You know? In the Guru Granth Sahib, which is the prayer book for the Sikh religion, um, there is a verse that fucking just really just gave me so much comfort. And that verse goes like this. I can never forget it. By his command, some are blessed and forgiven. By his command, others are destined to walk around aimlessly forever. You know, forgive them for they know not what they do. Love them because of it. Love them because of it. I'm working on part 4, the path of and to enlightenment. Redo these videos. Go through them a couple of times, man. Dozen times. I've done dozens of times, dozens and dozens of books, dozens and dozens of times over. Many of them back to back, back to back. Especially driving a truck. You have to drive 35 hours. That's all I do. I was reading like 3 books a day at one point. I've read books that are 60, 70, 80 hours long, over and over and over. Now, they take a long time. But I'm patient. I'm taking advantage of every moment that I have right here, right now. In this moment, I'm going to do my best. And what is my best? My best is learning to deliver this message to fucking create the imagined world. That's what we do. We imagine and then we create the world that we want to live in, that we see, even if we never get to see it. There was a one time a reporter was walking with Michael Eisner, all right, president of Disney. His uncle was Walt Disney, I believe. I think it's his uncle from marriage or some shit. Who knows? Um, and the reporter says to Michael Eisner, he says, wouldn't it be great if Walt were here to see this? Because Disneyland in California wasn't built until after Walt Disney died. And Michael he says, you don't get it, buddy. He says, Walt saw this before any one of us did. you know? Um, part 4. While I'm working on part 4, the path of and to enlightenment, redo the videos. Repetition is the mother of skill. It'll make a lot more sense to you now. You'll be able to understand it better. Concentrate on everything in them. Like I said, a lot of read between the lines shit, that I don't have time to explain. You could figure it out. You're smart. I'm no smarter than you are. I'm also going to leave you with a couple of book titles that if you read them and learn them and really let them in, they will change your life for the better. Those books are number 1, Words of Grace. in no particular order. They're all beautiful. Words of Grace by Sri Ramana Maharshi. The other book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. As I mentioned, it's also called Thoughts by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He never saw one day of peace in his life. He was on the battlefield for his entire life. That guy faced death every moment of every day for his entire life. You will be flabbergasted. Amazed. You will be fucking blown away by the fucking knowledge that this fucking motherfucker had. Unbelievable. And unbelievable love and courage. Unbelievable. And by the way, those were just his notes, his meditations, his thoughts. He never wrote them down to publish them or to fucking to better man. He just who he was. Amazing. Maybe he thought that someday, or maybe he thought, who knows? I don't care. I don't care why he did it. I'm grateful that he did. Book number 3, The Trial and Death of Socrates by Plato. All right, that's where I learned that the more I learn, the less I know. Think about yourself fucking now. Now you know all this crap and you're realizing you have fucking no idea. I don't know. You know, freedom is what it gave me. Freedom to take it all in, nonstop, with every moment. It keeps expanding. Last but not least, the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, there are fucking a million versions of it. It's a 6-inch poem. It's called The Song of God to Man. That's what the Bhagavad Gita translates to. There's a really cool version, that I find it's a simple to understand translation by Jack Hawley, Hawley, Jack Hawley. It's called the Bhagavad Gita, a walkthrough for Westerners. In plain English, it's fucking amazing. It really is. That thing I listened to, I cannot fucking tell you how many dozens of times. Dozens of times. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I've lost count on how many times I've read and reread these books that I'm giving you. They help me in ways I cannot express. So, what's next? Part 4, The Path of and to Enlightenment. Now the beautiful shit shows up. With that said, namaste, my brothers and my sisters. I love you. Meister Eckhart said that if you must pray, a simple thank you will suffice. Meister Eckhart, Leo Tolstoy. Get to know these people. They will show you things